Good evening. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt podcast. New Year, New Keir. Yeah, that's what it is. He's having another relaunch. Got himself a new suit. Unfortunately, it's not one with the arms that tie around the back like a straitjacket, which is what is necessary so we can get him out of Downing Street, because at the moment, he's clinging on like a limpet at Padstow Harbour when I used to go crabbing when I was a kid. But it's less amusing, less entertaining, and certainly less captivating. He's now saying he is going to go on till 2007. He says he's not going to be standing down. There is nobody better than him to do the job. He knows it's a tough job, but he's the man for the job. Over to you. I would love your opinions on this today. I think the man is deluded. I think he's absolutely delusional. I think somebody, like with a horse, somebody should take him around the back of the stables and, you know what I mean, like a dog who's too poorly, you send them off to live on that farm in Wales where they can run free for the rest of their lives. Like a Nazi, you give him the glass or the tumbler of whiskey, a revolver, and show him to his study. We are talking metaphors here. I'm not asking for anyone to kill or indeed for the Prime Minister to commit suicide. What I'm saying is we're in political suicide territory. Do you agree with me? Good afternoon. It is the Jon Gaunt podcast. Where were you yesterday? We did an extra one yesterday. If you have not watched it, it was a stormer. Watch it straight after this one. But I'm back in the usual slot, 6 o'clock. Loads to talk about. So Keir Starmer, he's having a launch even. But let's be honest, it's not a relaunch. He's pressed the panic button. He's now saying we've got to get closer to the EU. So he's trying to attract the Liberal Democrats to him because he's already lost most of Labour. He's certainly lost the red wall. Nigel Farage is hoovering up the votes as we speak. So Keir Starmer says it's a new year and a new him. Gave an hour-long interview to Laura, whatever her name is, yesterday on the BBC. Bored me to tears. And by giving him longer, it's just longer for him to say absolutely jack shit. And as voters, we've heard it all before. New slogan, new jacket, same weak man. Same problem. He's got no connection with you and I, the man or woman in the street. He's got no conviction. But worst of all for a leader, he's got no courage. So yesterday, he does the set-piece interview with Laura Kuenssberg. He actually did it on Saturday. They pre-recorded it. But then, of course, Donald Trump stole his thunder. Donald Trump pissed all over his parade by what he did by arresting that foul dictator. But Starmer, rather than backing Trump or indeed criticising him, either way, he'd have had to show a backbone and he'd have to show that he had an opinion and that he was a leader. He's waiting for the focus groups, clearly, to come back to decide whether or not to back President Trump or to back the Europeans and say, oh, no, that's naughty, naughty, naughty. International law. So there's been a vacuum created again. And he doesn't look like a leader. It makes him look like a TWAT, a weak twit at that. What is his problem? He's an international human rights lawyer. We know what his view is. His view is that what Trump has done is wrong. That's obvious. How can he be a human rights lawyer and defend filth like Abu Qatada and the rest of them that he's defended when I was the director of public prosecutions? Oh, yeah. Jimmy Savile never came across my desk, but the only desk he didn't come over by the look of it, Starmer. But no, Starmer, he knows what this is. He knows it's wrong. He doesn't need a focus group, but what he needs is time. That's how he sees it. He's scared of his own shadow. He's certainly scared of Donald Trump. The man is a wimp. We can't have a wimp as leader. Do you agree with me? So he's hiding again behind focus groups, whereas Nigel Farage is out there and he's talking to the angry voters. And he gets some stick, doesn't he? This latest nonsense about racism when he was 13 years old. He just takes it. He rolls with the punches. He gets another pint in. Nigel Farage can almost do anything and people will forgive him. Oh, Nigel, that's what he's like. He's a bit of a boy, isn't he? He's this, he's that. Who would you rather? This is the test, the acid test always for me. Who would you rather go for a pint with, Starmer or Farage? Because I'm telling you now, I'd go with Farage. Oh, careful what you say, John. Every single time. I wouldn't want to have one with Starmer, would you? Imagine what a boring night that would be. When I go out with my mates, we talk about football, we talk about booze, we talk about birds. Well, not so much birds because we're too old now, but you know where I'm coming from. You don't want to think, oh, I can't say that because he won't like it. I'm not talking about being racist or sexist or anything like that. I'm just saying the crack, the conversation. Could you imagine having the crack? Not that. Anyway, could you imagine having the crack with Keir Starmer? Of course you couldn't. Of course you couldn't, because he's boring. He's not just boring, he's tedious. He's tedious in the extreme. And also, he hasn't got a viewpoint. I had a chat with one of my mates the other day, and I think we fell out. But next day, he's on the phone, and we're having another chat. Just because we fell out the night before, I can't remember what it was about, football, whatever. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. That's what mates do. You have a drink, you have the banter, etc., etc. You just couldn't do that with Starmer, and that's why he's never going to be the leader. So we've got a position now where Labour are desperate not to offend anyone. By not offending anyone, by standing in the middle of the road, the only thing that's sure is you're going to get run over, probably by that reform bus where they've just taken off the banners talking about the money for the NHS. I'm joking. You follow what I'm saying? Reform UK is basically saying what millions of people are thinking in this country today. I see a guy from the Sally Army has got the sack because he said something about all the asylum, no, they're not asylum seekers, all of the illegal migrants who are landing at Dover should be sent straight back. They sacked him. He was working for a charity meant to be helping them. But you see my point. That view is probably the view of every single person. I said this in my extra podcast yesterday. Everybody going on about international law. Now that Trump has done this, now that he's done this, China will do it in Taiwan. You've got to respect international law. Do you know it's something that doesn't exist? One of the problems we've got is we've got all of these kind of poxy rules, and you can't just do what Trump's done. I've got elected. I'm the most powerful man in the world. I want to make America great again. I'm putting America first. I don't give a shit whether you like it or not. And today, the United Nations. Let's talk about Trump. What a dreadful man. My only surprise today was that Starmer hadn't gone over there to condemn him, but he won't because he can't upset Trump. You have to have a spine, don't you, to succeed in life? Well, certainly to be the leader of a great country like the United Kingdom. Are you with me or against me? So there's Farage, right? And they're basically saying what millions are thinking, to use that old cliche of the Tories. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And remember all the trouble they got into, or Theresa May with the hostile environment. Oh, no, you can't say anything nasty about these poor people. They're fleeing war and persecution. No, they're not. Most of them are fleeing the shop where they nicked the fucking leather jacket from and the flip-flops and the designer tracksuits in some godforsaken country like Sudan or Somalia or Albania. Then they travel right across Europe and then they come here. And did you see that today? Another reason why he'll never be able to survive till 2027. The boats are arriving again today. They've had a little bit of a relax over Christmas, but now the weather's turned a bit better. Well, it must be freezing in the channel, but at least it's not rough. They're coming over it again. And then we get told today, oh, we're going to get tough now on those illegals. We're going to check every single one of them to see if they've got a mobile phone. And we're going to confiscate it if they have. And we're going to check their mouths. Oh, what? You're going to check what age they are so you don't put 30-year-old blokes in a school classroom because he says he's 12. No, that's not the reason. They're doing it so in case they've got the SIM card. Are they going to look up their Jaxie as well? It won't make a blind bit of difference. Oh, then we can use this information to find out who the people smugglers are. Are you telling me you haven't been taking the phones off them? Yeah, that is what you're telling me, isn't it? The political class and the media class in this country are a big bunch of wimps. Already on the telly, I saw people today say, oh, I think that's an infringement of their human rights. Hold on a minute. They've broken into our country. What human rights have they got? We're going to look after them. We'll give them 3 square meals. We've got charities like the Sally Army, unless they sack everyone. They're going to be giving them nice, clean clothes to wear. Vintage clothes. Clothes that students would die for. I'm taking the mickey now. But do you see what I mean? And this is where you've got to connect with real people and the real struggles they're going through. The cost of living crisis. I couldn't believe when I went shopping again last week. I couldn't believe the prices of basics, cheese, milk, bread. It's all gone through the roof. Have you seen how much it is to get, say, I don't normally buy it from a supermarket, but a packet of mints. I was looking at mints in Sainsbury's. Get arrested for that. But anyway, I was looking at some. I couldn't believe the cost. And of course, the supermarkets are profiteering off the back of it. Of course they are. These are the things that if you want to be a prime minister, you've got to address. I wonder when the last time Starmer went to a supermarket. I wonder the last time when Starmer did anything what you'd call normal. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. And because they can't make that connection, and somebody like Farage can, and certainly people like that Lee guy, the big northerner, they can make that connection. And I think that Lee Anderson, I think that's the problem. And I think that terrifies the Labour leadership. So this is a man who's trying to limp to 2027 while the ground collapses around him. He can tell Laura, whatever her name is, all day, all week. She said, oh, I could have spoken to you for much longer. I thought, well, why? You wouldn't get anything out of him, love. He's only got the one mantra, his little key phrases. He wouldn't actually discuss the small boats. That's the burning issue. The burning issue. Oh, I've got breakfast clubs now for kids. When parents who are too fucking lazy to feed themselves, oh, don't worry, we'll pay. We'll pay. He's like the curate in a church. Lovely fellas, but they're just too liberal. They're just, with their mohair jumpers, they're just too nice. Sometimes if you want to be a leader, you've got to have a big bit of grit. The only bit of leadership he's got right, he doesn't care that people hate him. But wouldn't it be good if you were achieving something? Why? Whilst they were hating you. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is a leader who's a leader. He's scared of reform. He's scared of the president of the USA. He's now scared of his own MPs. So he's trying to appease them. He's trying to come up with a deal. So today he's backed Denmark, hasn't he? Saying, we would back Denmark if Trump tried to take Greenland. Well, is he going to take Greenland or is he just winding you up? And it's easy to talk when it's not real. Let's talk about something that is absolutely real. Donald Trump went in, took the president of that country, foul dictator that he is, I'm glad he did it, and took him out of the country and now says, I'm going to run the country. What do you think about that, Keir Starmer? Don't talk about hypothetical things. What do you think of that? What is your opinion? I'll tell you my opinion. I think brilliant. Good on you. Well done. Well done. Because this man was taking drugs into America. This man was causing mass migration. This man is a dictator. And now he's in court just about half an hour ago saying, I've been kidnapped. I'm not I shouldn't be here. You know, doing the whole, I don't see your court. I don't believe in it. And the other thing I found amazing, how did the people manage to get rid of their Palestinian flags so quickly and get the flags of the new country that they're supporting? Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's bonkers. So now there'll be all these demonstrations about this foul dictator. The fact that his own people are rejoicing and dancing in the street, the liberals don't see that. They just got Trump derangement syndrome. So anything Trump does is bad. He's bad. He's a fascist. Well, he's just freed those people. Are you sure that's fascism? And he stopped hard drugs going into it. Do you understand what I mean? And now, of course, the BBC and the other mainstream media, they're winding up, oh, he's going to go into Colombia next. Well, again, I don't want to be rude, but Colombia's a right shithole, again run by filthy dictators, and again part of the drugs trade. And this man was elected to make America great again. And they've got a real opioid problem in America. And he knows where the drugs are coming from. He's trying to stop it. Yes, he wants the oil as well. But then again, would you rather have the oil under the control of Trump and America or China, who, of course, are behind all this? You do understand that, don't you? That this is really a kind of no weapons at the moment war between America and China. China is funding all of their infrastructure. That's what's going on. That is what is going on at the moment. I just find it incredible that liberals then would say, oh, it's wrong. International law, international law. Wait till the Commons warms up. Wait till Wednesday. That's what the conversation will be about, a Prime Minister's questions, rather than what are we doing about the price of bread? What are we doing about the price of mince? What are we going to do about the supermarkets? What are we doing about getting more kids into work? I want a leader who's putting us and the British first. I want a leader who says, our country is brilliant. If you want to come to our country, you're going to have to abide by the law. I don't want a government led by somebody like him. Stop it. You're being nasty, Gaunty. You're being nasty to me. Stop, stop, stop. Somebody stop him. He's bullying me. Stop him. Stop him. Where's all my Ukrainian? Shush. Anyway, do you understand where I'm coming from? And I want your opinion on this. If you've got a view, tell me now. So I'm going to ask you the question. Will Keir Starmer last to 2027? I say he can't. He's got to go. I think he'll probably go in May. I think he's got to go before then, because I think at the moment he is destroying our country. He said nothing in that interview with Laura. He basically said, things are going to get better tomorrow. It was like Annie, like I said yesterday, little orphan Annie. The sun will shine tomorrow, tomorrow. You bet your bottom dollar. But there's no Daddy Warbecks. Is it Daddy Warbecks? Yeah. To bail us out. He's got Rachel Reeves in charge of the flipping money. The whole thing is a joke. They got elected on a pile of lies. And the Tories, well, they're just as bad, because look at what they did for the last 14 years. That's why we now need to say to Nigel Farage, on you go, Nigel. You can't possibly do any worse. You are now in charge. And we need to learn from what's just happened in Venezuela. First time I mentioned it, you see. Venezuela. We need to learn from them, and we need to learn from President Trump. A weak president means a weak America, and a weak America means a weak world. Why do you think Trump has now brought all these Marines and combat troops to Britain and all the tanks and the stuff that goes with it? It's about to kick off, or it's a show of strength to say we're not going to be messed with. And I personally think it's brilliant we've got Trump. Imagine if Joe Biden was still in power in the States, or if the laughing hyena, Kamala Harris, whatever her name was, if she was now the president. But I say we've got a coward as a leader. An absolute coward. He won't even say where he stands. So that country gets invaded, allegedly. That country has its president kidnapped. And when Starmer's asked his opinion, because of his vast experience as a human rights lawyer, he can't answer. I bet he can't lie straight in bed, if you understand what I mean. The guy is spineless. But it's not just spineless, it's also devious. What he did with that manifesto, just a load of lies. Then he attacks the vulnerable, the elderly, the disabled, snatches their money. And only after massive protest does he change his mind. Same with the farmers. And he announces it at Christmas when the press aren't there. The man is despicable. He doesn't deserve to get voted in again, but he won't, because I can foresee now mass protests. Some people are saying there's going to be riots, some social commentators. I'm not so sure about that. It's a bit too cold to riot at the moment, isn't it, if you know what I mean? But I would love your opinion on everything I've just said. Now, it's your time. Do you believe that Starmer will last and get another term in office, even get re-elected? I think no chance. I think somebody should give him the whiskey, give him the revolver, or escort him round the back of the stables and let nature take its course. I'm almost feeling sorry for the imbecile. My name's Jon Gaunt. This is the Jon Gaunt Podcast. You won't hear this anywhere else. If you like what I'm saying, please press the like button. We've only got 12 likes so far. I've got lots of people watching, but only 12 likes. Come on, get on that algorithm for me. And by the same token, if you want to donate, all you do is press the little $sign and donate as little or as much as you wish. Or if you prefer the other way, is you go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and donate whatever you fancy. $5 or upwards, I think it is on there. And don't forget to join Jon Gaunt TV so you always know when I'm doing my shows. Right, we're back into the swing of things. Mark Foster, he can be our first person. For the love of God and the future of humanity, bloody hell, I hope not. Talking about whether Starmer can survive like he says he's going to. He's going to carry on. He's had a mandate. We voted him in for 5 years, and he ain't going. We'll see. He needs help. He's completely unemployable, says Steve Harris. I think you're absolutely right. He's living inside his own dream world, says Pamela Millett, one of my regular callers. You are right, Pamela. He is. The guy's a moron. Pat Haney says yes. Oh, so you think he can survive? Elaborate on that. I'd like to hear more of what you're saying. Steve is saying he's building a radical Islamic Britain and we're all in for the high jump. No good crying when it's too late. Steve, I don't agree with you on that. I think that's... I don't think he's got any plans like that. I think he's trying to wreck the place. I think he's the nearest thing to an anarchist we've had since Johnny Rotten. Maybe I'm wrong. Forever English says Maduro had 20% popularity. Starmer is at 15%. How bad is that? That's true. That's what the Venezuelan dictator had. But the thing I can't... it's a bit of a side issue, but I would love to have some comments on it. Why are liberals still saying that what Trump did was wrong, right? International law, it's wrong, and that Maduro should not have been replaced. And there's people on Twitter saying we should send him back. We have no right to, the Americans have no right to have kidnapped him. So down your street, there's a bloke, and you know he's been giving smack and cocaine and lots of other stuff to your kids. What would you do? Oh, leave him. No, you wouldn't, would you? And also, why doesn't he solve just the simple thing? Overnight, he'd get popular if he stopped the boats. But his latest wizard idea, we're going to take the phones off them. You need to take the phones off them before they get in the boat, because it's the phone. That's what tells them where to get the Deliveroo job, the bike. Open the barbers. Are you really that stupid, Starmer? Don't answer that. David KT, not only is Starmer a lame duck, but he is plucked, stuffed, and oven ready. I've got to agree with you. This I've got to agree with as well. Forever English says, international law is only ever used against the West. That's a brilliant point. It is. Everybody else just does what the hell they like. It used to be like this with the EU. The smoking ban was a classic. People in Ireland, they just carried on smoking in the pubs, didn't they? In this country, oh no, rules is rules. We've got to do it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I do think it's been better for society that smoking has been attacked, and therefore, I take on board the human rights. You want to do what you want to do and all the rest of it. But it is better when you go to a pub and you don't come next morning still stinking of tobacco. Of course it is. But I just find it odd. For Starmer and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, until he's killing off the British way of life, especially safety. Your last few words hit that on the head there, Pam, because not only is he dangerous in the abstract, he's dangerous in reality, isn't he? How many people have been attacked? Now, people say, hang on a minute, John, there were sexual assaults and rapes and murders before we had all of these illegals in. I had a bloke today saying, you only ever talk about migrants in a negative way. I said, I never speak about migrants in a negative way. I speak about illegal migrants in a negative way all the time. And I will continue to do so. They shouldn't be in our bloody country. They're criminals. Out now. Like Mr. Pritchard, my geography teacher. Gaunt! He wouldn't even turn away from the chalkboard. Bang on my head. I'd look like Dickie Davis. It'd be the eraser from the chalkboard. And then the next thing would be out. What? There was no, Mr. Pritchard, it wasn't me. It was Chris Dickey talking. There was none of that. It was straight. Summary justice. Right, go. Bang. Like Ken Cook, my PE teacher. Oh, go on to you got mud on your pumps. Take one off. There was no, somebody's put that on there, stitch me up. None of that. Bend over, two on your arse with your own pump. It taught you to make sure you clean them next time. Do you understand the logic? And that's the simplistic way of how you deal with illegals. No hotels, no squeezy soap, none of that. Locked up behind barbed wire in old army camps. Don't like it? Well, we'll give you a free passage back to where you come from. Where do you come from? What, you don't know? You're not going to tell us? Oh, you're going to pretend you're from Sudan because you think that gets you more bonus points, brownie. Be careful, John, don't use that word. More brownie points on the old asylum tick? No. If you haven't got a passport, don't know where you come from, you're going to be staying here. Or you're going to be going off to Ascension Island so we can assess you there. But otherwise, we're dead humane, we are. We're going to send you back. This is what should be happening. Now, I'm just gone off track there a little bit. I just want to pull back because I think one thing we've missed this weekend, when he was talking to Laura, whatever her name is, she's useless. But when I was talking to, he was talking to her. He also wants to be back in bed with the EU. This is dangerous, and he has no right to do it. I'd even argue he hasn't got a right to have another referendum, but I could bend on that. Bend. Anyway, you see where I'm coming from. But that's the other thing he's trying to do. Michelle Claire Richards, hello Michelle, on Facebook. Club of Rome finally implementing their 10 kingdoms. It's heavily documented in archives. Yes, I know that. I've read that. Pam says the people smugglers come over in the boats with them. There's so many of them. Well, yeah. So they must take the boat back, mustn't they? This is the other thing. I just don't understand why we haven't employed our special forces. You've got those boys over in France now, and they're getting arrested for slashing the boats and arrested. Oh, I had some idiots there, and I said something the other day about them. And I said, you can either see them as heroes or you can see them as yobbos. Well, I have to say things like that, don't I? I can't condone breaking the law, can I? You imbecile. Steve Taylor, hope is out. Useless, pathetic, lying piece of SH1T. Don't sit on the fence, will you? By Starmer not wanting to offend anyone, he's offending everyone. You're right, Denise. That is the problem. He's not even popular on the left. Who is he trying to appeal to then? other than Islam. At least if he had a strong opinion, we could hate him for that instead of just hating him. Denise, that is a very, very good comment. And you know what, Denise? That is the point. There have been political figures in the past. Maggie Thatcher was one. When I was younger, I hated her. I thought she was the devil incarnate. But at least she had a strong opinion. Keith Joseph, he was another one. I didn't really like the Beast of Bolsover. I didn't like Ken Livingstone. Different people. But at least you knew where they stood. You don't know where you stand with Starmer. And he's meant to be our leader. He can't survive, can he? Anyway, nothing worse than a do-gooder, John. Well, yeah, like the do-gooder cure, like I said earlier. Starmer knows full well most of the illegal invaders' phones get thrown in the sea before they get picked up by border taxi services. This latest pledge is an absolute load of bullshit that makes no sense whatsoever. I agree with you, Den. If you're going to do that, you've got to take the phone off them before they get in the boat, before they get their little toesies wet. But that would mean the French would have to help us. Now the French want to arrest the boys who have gone over there to do their job for them. It's unbelievable. China bailed Maduro out with cash in return for getting the oil. Yes, exactly. And that's what I was just talking about. This is why it's a war between America and China. China have basically propped up Venezuela for years, and they're paying them back with cheap oil. China needs the oil, so does Russia, to fuel their massive infrastructure developments all over China. Yeah, we're effectively paying for it. And then Trump says, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop the drugs, and I'm going to free the people and liberate them. And all the usual suspects, Zara Sultana Fruta Nutcase MP for the Gaza Strip, and now, of course, there, and the Fossil Road in Coventry, she's up in arms about it. There'll be hunger strikes next. You watch. There will be. These people make me sick. We should say, look, we've got some boats going. Would you like to go and live in your socialist paradise? Off you go. Or get Stelios. Stelios! Jocks away! No, she'd rather sit in Parliament with a vast salary, no longer part of the Labour Party who she got elected for. She wouldn't have got elected as an independent, would she? So that's what she's like. And there's loads of them like it. All the Polytechnic lecturers. Socialist worker. I see China demanded that Maduro should be released. Well, they would, wouldn't they? They've been saber-rattling around Taiwan for years. I'm disappointed Reform and the Tories have not fully supported Trump. Yeah, well, they're sitting on the fence. Even Nigel sat on the fence. But you see, sometimes you got to be brave, haven't you? It's like, I'm not bigging myself up, but it's like doing a radio show like this, right? You got to think of your opinion and then say it. When I got discovered by that little bloke, Andy Wright, with the little glasses, right, he said to me, just say the first thing that comes into your head and then be consistent. That doesn't mean you can't be, your opinion can't be modified or changed by listening to good guests or good people who call in. But your starting point has to be that's your belief. Don't be a devil's advocate. Best advice I've ever had. And I think that's the way to be. I've told you about going to do TV shows, and very famous talk jocks would be in the green room with me. And I go, oh, Gaunt, tell you on with me today? Yeah, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm talking about fox hunting. Oh, yeah, what's your view? I said, oh, that's a great English tradition, and I'll be supporting it. Oh, right, okay. I'll take the other view. I used to think, do you need that 200 quid so much that you'll just bullshit and pretend and act? And that's what they do. Happens on the right stuff. It happens on, I don't know if he does the show anymore, Alan Titchmarsh. It used to happen on Richard and Judy. It's called casting. And it's ridiculous. It's not proper, real debate. And all the people in the audience, oh, they're like seals, chuck me a fish. It isn't real. That's how people like, what's her name? Narinder Kaur. She's become like a chat show. She's making a fortune, picking up 250, 300, 500 quid here. And I'm sure somebody's writing her material. I was reading some of the stuff she came out with today. She's got opinions on everything immediately. You know, like people write jokes for the internet now, and then it's the big firms who put them up, but they pretend it's individual. It's the same thing. Rubbish. Where are we next? Steve Palmer. Thank you, Steve. He's just donated a £5. We deserve a leader that's like us, a lion. Starmer is a donkey. He's certainly an ass. Thank you an ass, sorry. Thank you, Steve, and thank you very much for your donation again. Excuse me. Anybody else want to make a donation? You just click the little $ and send as little or as much as you can. Don't send more than you can afford. Or alternatively, buy me a coffee or a beer by going to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. We really could do your contributions because January is the cruelest month. Who said that? Is that a playwright or was that a song? I can't remember. Help me out. Starmer's rigging it so he stays in power. He's a dictator because he's now cancelling local elections. Whatever next. You're right. He is doing that. It is doing that. And one could argue that all these people he's letting in, you watch, he's giving kids the vote, 16-year-olds. What do kids know about anything at 16? The next thing he'll do, he'll give the refugees, the asylum seekers the vote too. And who are they going to vote for? They're going to vote for the people who let him in the country, aren't they? It's clear what he's up to. It's disgraceful. Why do you think we didn't have the rape gang inquiry quickly enough? Huh? Oh, wasn't because it was all happening in Labour-controlled areas, was it? No. Oh, no, matron. Starmer's above all that. Did you know? I used to be the director of public prosecutions, and Jimmy Savile never came across my desk. Watch the sit-down interview with Trump and Starmer side by side, and the difference is night and day, John. One won't stop talking and bigging up his country, and the other just talks in gimmicks and sound bites. Michael Yates, that is a brilliant point. You're right. Also, have you noticed? He doesn't have any notes or anything, Trump. He just goes in there and gives it. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. I don't agree with MPs having mobile phones in the House of Commons. Have you seen that? You're watching a debate and a load of them are on the phones. They're getting instructions of what to say. I remember you weren't allowed to do that at one point. Now it's a free-for-all. They're like a bunch of teenagers on speed. It's wrong. It's the mother of all parliaments. If you can't stand up and debate and argue your point, you're not fit to be there. Well, most of them aren't fit to be there anyway, are they? Just a few. Got a different opinion, I'll take it. It's the Jon Gaunt Show, by the way, you're watching at the moment. You can also catch it on podcasts. I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple. And if you do listen to the audio version on any of those, please rate it. Give it 5 stars. Yeah, if you like it. Yeah, if you don't like it, don't give it anything. But if you do like it, give it 5 stars. And likewise, join Jon Gaunt TV. When you go there the first time on YouTube, it'll ask, do you want to subscribe? It doesn't mean you've got to pay any money. It just means that from then on, you're here every time I'm going to do a show. Why don't you do that for me? Starmer and his socialist police and judicial system of criminal justice should all be in jail now. Well, that's one of the problems. They've infiltrated every part of society. Starmer in a straitjacket. He deserves to be in one. Thank you very much. I bought my wife, daughter, and granddaughter a personal alarm for Christmas, says Forever English. That's a tragedy, isn't it? But you're right. You want them to be safe, don't you? You want them to be safe. I know young women who have got certain sprays in their bag now. But it's against the law, Gaunty. Yeah. About protection. If we've got a prime minister who's letting in rapists, muggers, serial sex offenders, gangsters, terrorists. Oh, I'm not saying you're definitely doing it, Kick here, but can you prove you're not? Can you name one person in any one boat? Pick any boat you want, like a magician. Pick any card you want. And tell me the name and the origin of just one person in that raft. Ooh, that's a hard question. Where's my advisor? Where's Morgan McSweeney? So I need somebody to help me with this one. They're asking me difficult questions. Why can't I just go back on with Laura Kunsberg? I thought it was very interesting. He's refusing to be interviewed by Andrew Neil and also that woman on GB News from the Daily Telegraph, Camilla Tominey, who I think is a brilliant political interviewer. I don't think she's a very good presenter, but in the interview situation, she is brilliant. He's scared to go on there. Prime Minister shouldn't be scared of going on any programme. Not any programme. Will he survive? Please tell me what you think. Deport everyone from Traitor Blair, from Traitor Blair's let in. I think you mean goes back that far. We need an overhaul of government. An overhaul? Yeah, I think we do. Hi, Gaunty. I remember you from Talk Radio Days, 74 quote. Oh, thank you. So somebody knows who I am. That's kind of you. Thank you. I've just given Delta Force, Starmer and Carr's locations in the hope they could do us a favour. Yeah, come in. I said this on my show yesterday. We need them to come in with a helicopter over Downing Street, right? Straight down, through the roof. Get him out of his bunker, because he's probably in a bunker down there, because he's scared. Get Starmer. Get Lord Ali. Lord Ali, pass me the new suit you just made him. The one with the arms around the back. Put him in the straitjacket and take him out. Because according to Starmer, he ain't going out. The only way he's ever going to go is when he's had another election. He wants to be humiliated. Now, I know a lot of MPs are a bit pervy, right? That's the reputation, isn't it? They like a bit of the old SNM. Yeah, we've all used to read it in the News of the Screws. Do they all have a sort of sadomasochistic element to them? That they quite like being beaten up? I don't know. Maybe that's what he's up to. Because you'd think by now he'd give up 11% approval ratings. People hate you. They don't even hate you for your policies. They hate you. Full stop. You could promise to give everybody tomorrow, you've all won the lottery. Everyone's going to get $1,000 off Keir Starmer. Just come to 10 Down Street and we'll sort you out. There'll be tumbleweed. No one would go. No one would go. He's lost the country, but he says he's going to stay on. Is there nobody within the Labour Party who can tell him? Beryl Saunders, Facebook. We in Labour-controlled Southampton, we are not sent our postal votes. I phoned Civic Centre 5 times. So a bit of fraud stuff gone down in a Labour-controlled Southampton. Well, if that happens again, you need to stand that up at the time and go straight to a paper with that or to GB News. Because not much I can do about it now, Beryl. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just saying I haven't got all the evidence in front of me. You see what I mean? Thank you. Right, that's me done. Fraser Ford has just sent me a red love heart. Thank you very much indeed. I'm packing in now. I've got a few things to do before EastEnders at 7:30. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back after Christmas. If you want to carry on the debate, you can. You just go to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. You can put comments there all the time. You can also watch the old archive as well. Make sure you also subscribe. It's completely free. Then you'll never miss a show. And if you missed my show yesterday, you can also now watch it again, or you can listen on a podcast. And finally, if you'd like to help me out, because remember, this is all independently funded. We do get a little bit of advertising revenue, but if you want to help out, please just click that $sign. We've only had a $5 today. We need a bit more than that. That knocks the average down a bit. Come on. Somebody offer a few quid, a tenner or something, yeah? Just click on the $sign and donate whatever you can. If not, please go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Simple as that. Starmer. I'm not going anywhere. That's what he's saying. What does it mean? What does it mean? And is he now trying to control everything so that he stays in power? And it's his vision of the world that we're going to live with. At a time when we need to be strong, we need to be independent, which is what we voted for. We need to be in control of our borders. We need to be in control of criminals. They need locking up. We're as weak as anything. We're as weak as anything. And in the end, it has to come down on him. If it was Rishi or Boris still in power, I'd say it was them. But at the moment, it's you, Starmer. Your first duty is the protection of your people, the citizens. And on that level, you have failed miserably. So go now. And we don't want a replacement for you. Don't think you can get a lettuce this time of year. What we actually want, Starmer, is a general election. And on that note, Jackie Ward's just given me 5 red hearts. So that means it's definitely time for me to go. Thank you very much indeed for joining in. Don't forget, if you've got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Hey, don't forget to tell them you love them. I'll see you tomorrow at 6. Bye.